right, welcome back to Long Island, or maybe the world's
maybe both.
#1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, here on a special Wednesday edition where we have the honor of, honestly, a true legend of professional wrestling, Mr. Tod Gordon. He'll be with us shortly.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, I could tell. Just the way you came in here.
I am so juiced.
You are so jacked up.
Yeah, I am.
Tod Gordon.
ECW. Todd is God.
What is it? Is it because he's the originator of the engine that you loved?
And I go way back pretty much to the beginning, as you know, when it first came to my eyes on cable. So I remember quite a bit about Mr. Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm psyched out of my mind. I want to put barbed wire around my head right now. Yeah, I'm getting crazy.
All right, don't mark out though.
I just did. Oh, too
Terrible.
late. It's too late now.
Little
Great.
shout out, the Marty Jannetty finale. We had our first watch along. How do you feel that experiment went?
I thought it went well. I just wish that my phone would have behaved a little bit better, but I really did enjoy it. I thought it was very cool, and I'm glad that you went down that avenue, and we'll do it again, right?
Absolutely, and cool. I want to give a shout out to Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes, sir.
Who used our interview in the season finale.
How cool.
Little roll call as people are rolling in. Jason Morning, Loose in the house.
Loose.
We got Benny Scala, who Dan and Benny show will be on at 10 o'clock.
Benny was on last night. Yep.
On their show, they have independent wrestler Sam Steele, female wrestler. Benny feels like she is
up and coming.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jason, I was surprised to see our footage on Dark Side of the Ring, too, but I'm really not surprised, right? I mean,
it's about damn
thanks
Skippy
to you
time.
guys, that's why that's happening. Anyway, before we get to Mr. Gordon, help me, Jesus. Hawk appears to drop snake on woman before attacking to get it back.
Wow.
It turns out that snakes don't need a plane to fall from the sky. In a bewildering series of events, a Texas woman was injured after a hawk appeared to drop a snake on her before swooping down and launching an attack to attempt to recover the prey. Peggy Jones was mowing her lawn in Silsbee, about 100 miles northeast of Houston, Texas, on Tuesday, when out of nowhere a snake plummeted from the sky before landing on her arm and wrapping itself around her limb, she told the Houston-based NBC affiliate KPRC-TV. Is that like WKRP in Cincinnati?
Yeah, except this is in Houston.
There you go.
Does it have a theme song?
Let me hear it.
We're at KPRC-TV in Houston, Texas.
Nice.
There we go.
I knew you could table that.
You knew it, baby.
As the snake tightened around her arm, the hawk suddenly swooped down from above and started attacking Jones as it tried to pray the serpent away from her.
This makes sense, by the way.
The snake was squeezing so hard, and it was waving my arms in the air. And then the hawk was swooping down, clawing at my arm over and over. Jones, who did not immediately respond to the request to comment on NBC. Okay, enough of that.
Well, here's the key, though. She kept saying, help me, Jesus, help me, Jesus. And the hawk came at her at least 4 times before it finally managed to get the snake and fly away. Now, I ask you, do you know why the snake was dropped?
No.
Okay, when hawks catch something, they drop them from a great height to stun the crap out of them. It's almost like an aerial stone-cold stunner. And then they just go down because there's less resistance.
What you're saying to me really does sound like it makes a lot of sense. But my wife is the bird lady.
Have you been watching the Wildlife Channel?
My wife is the bird
Donna
lady.
is the Wildlife Channel.
I will check to see whether what you're saying is true or not.
I've watched
what you are presenting to me sounds very logical.
I think that's pretty much what happens. They
get disoriented.
Yes, they take them up to a height and they drop them, and it totally screws. Now they may not always do this, but I actually have seen this.
Didn't seem like it worked with that snake.
Actually, it was working fine. The problem is that the damn thing landed on a human.
But then it wrapped itself around a human.
Right, because it was like, help!
But it was awake. It was ready to go.
Of course it was awake. It landed on a nice soft arm. It was supposed to land on a rock.
Upcoming shows, Pharaoh, on August 10th, which would be tomorrow.
Okay.
Sal Corrente back for a second on 7:45 p.m.
Very nice.
Sal, who wrote the Bruno Sammartino book. And then on the main, that would be on This Week in Wrestling, guys. And on the main show, Barry Horowitz returns at 9 p.m. The great Barry Horowitz, who we had in studio how many years ago? 2 years ago, maybe?
Is it 2 years already?
It's been
wow,
about.
that went fast.
Now,
Okay.
both of those obviously will be over the internet, but on September 15th at 6:30 p.m., the return of the great Manny Fernandez, who will be in studio.
I love Manny Fernandez.
And September 17th, Barry's back. Barry Windham returns.
You love Barry even more than Manny.
Huge Barry Windham
Yep,
fan.
absolutely.
I wonder why Todd didn't try to get Barry in ECW.
We'll have to ask him. Maybe.
We might have to.
All right.
September 29th, PN News comes all the way from Europe. The show Respect. He'll be in studio for the great Mike Mantar.
That's gonna, Mike. Not for nothing. That's probably gonna be pretty emotional.
I would think it would be.
You know. All right.
I was
Cool.
thinking, it's funny you brought that up. 'Cause
It's still bothering me.
I was thinking about Baby Doll.
Baby Doll.
Remember
She
when
was
Baby
cool.
Doll kind of got a little upset in the studio that time?
Yes. Yes. What was she getting upset over? Refresh me.
Kids, her
Yes.
kids.
Yes. Baby Doll was a
Sam
cool
Houston.
person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really liked her.
She was great.
She was
all right. Real. I enjoyed her.
7:45, Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Nice.
And then we
nice.
also, I think we have Doink in at that time, and
Okay.
Teal Hopper,
Got Ray coming in.
which I haven't, officially announced, but I think that's all coming at the same time.
Okay.
I do have a little surprise for you. It's not official yet, but Ken Shamrock will be in studio.
Get out of
Yes.
here.
Ken Shamrock
Oh, I'm
will
loving
be
that.
making his appearance on the Monte the Pharaoh
Oh my
show.
God. By the way, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He should be.
Abe, you're Ken Shamrock, Mark, or what?
You know Shamrock. Very nice. Of course. Dude, he's a legend. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, man.
And
Sweet.
And
Sweet.
cheerleader Melissa
What?
will be in studio.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not official yet.
Okay.
So be
Working
it.
on it. Gotcha.
I would like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monte the Pharaoh and Jimmy Farrow, along with his partner Mark Riggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. And what do you do when you go to YouTube?
You like and subscribe.
And what
then you
else?
Flip on over to the Monte and the Pharaoh YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and become a member.
Go to Spotify, Apple Music, Reverb Nation. Get all those great Wisteria Hall songs.
Thank you.
How's the new album coming?
Well, we got the stuff into Cliff, so basically now it's there are some vocals we're going to cut, but that's pretty much it. Then Cliff will do his little magic wand in the mixing, and we should be good to go.
I hope 3's the lucky number, dude. I really do.
I thought 1 and 2 were pretty lucky.
No.
I understand what you're saying. You want me to have Rihanna numbers, not the Beatles. Forget them. We want Rihanna.
I want commercial success.
I
for
got
Wisteria
you. Yeah,
Hall.
who doesn't? I'm with that. That's
If you
cool.
didn't know it, you are watching the world's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh. Why is it the world's? In case people forget why it's the world's #1.
You got an hour? I mean, what do you want me to do?
Just
Specify?
give me the most important part of it.
The most important part is that we are engaging, entertaining, we are real, we actually are knowledgeable. We will ask people questions and know what the hell we're talking. We'll let them
You
talk.
know what? Now I'm going to have to talk to Todd because now you're off your game because the answer to that question I'll have to answer
What,
for
do
you.
we have Tod Gordon on?
That, but,
Okay.
but beyond that,
What?
because Jim Beam
Said so.
There you
Oh
go,
my God,
buddy.
man! You know, I mean, you could have hit me with the whiskey bottle. Give me a clue. I mean, it's just like, there's a million things we could say.
Catch us on the Monte the Pharaoh YouTube page, Monte the Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. Catch us on the Monte the Pharaoh Twitch TV page. Catch us in if you're lucky enough to live in New York, channel 115 every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. and Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And channel 20 at 7 p.m. Where over 150,000 people watch us weekly.
A lot of people.
Again, I'm going to tell everybody here in New York, our contract is up.
So?
August 14th.
And?
It's still a negotiation.
Oh my God! Why do we always have to sweat it to the last second? What is this?
Maybe they're sweating. Maybe they're sweating.
You know, there's a reason why I really like you, and I think that might be it.
That could be it.
That works for me. But by the
Hey.
way, can I just ask real fast?
Go ahead.
Is Mr. London coming in on the 12th? I didn't hear him.
Yes.
He is. Paul London.
Paul London
Okay,
is
cool.
coming in.
Just
But
want to
I-
make
I
sure.
might have
was
missed that one.
No, that's fine. See,
Also-
I'm on my game after all.
Guys, again, we're going to reiterate. Go to the Intuitive Network. It's a free app. It's got movies. It's got documentaries. It's got music videos. It's comedy shows. It's got horror shows. It's got fitness shows.
And it's...
Free.
Hey, you're on your game too.
There
And you
you
know
go.
how it's spelled, right?
I do not. Can you help me
You
with
don't?
that? Please
Okay, I'll
me.
help you out. It is spelled INTUITIVE. That's intuitive. Get into it.
Hey, by the way, Abe, I had a fan write and said, our monologues are way too long. Get right to the interview. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that?
Shoot that blimp down.
I mean, It depends on the interview, I guess, but I like the monologues.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's a good little intro to the, because it's more general than just like interviewing one single person.
But that's what I'm saying. You want to start your show off like this. Hi, Todd.
Yeah, also, they could just wait for the interview.
Let's get right to it, Todd.
Let's talk about
welcome to the studio.
They can wait for the interview. You know what I mean? Like the interview's not going anywhere.
We'll get some old geared, right? They're all ready. It's we're warming it up.
Yeah,
Could you imagine if Letterman just went right to the guest?
Yeah, and it's like if it's a good interview, you guys will go as long as you need to. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're missing anything.
And we're like fluffers, right?
Yeah,
We're like fluffers. We're fluffing it up. We're fluffing the audience
And what
up.
does it say under there? This is a show.
Yeah,
What the?
it's
All
not
right,
taking
anyway,
anything
we
away
want to
from the
get to
interview.
our guest. So
Yeah, let's get to our guest. Stop bullshit.
we'll be right back with the great legend icon. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You're excited.
Yeah.
The world's excited.
Yeah.
Tod Gordon.
Todd is God. Todd is God. God. In a minute.
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
Have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love it.
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So
pic-
Manscaped is a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to
Oh,
go
I
do
know
the deed
where-
on a woman,
I know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro Bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro Bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to
Wow.
wander into that.
That's
thought
very
of it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that. You're a
Wow.
smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured,
Yeah,
you can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that
I
landing?
just don't. I don't want. I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh, look
but-
what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
I found it! I found
have
it!
you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
What is
retro? Just,
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa!
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
like
46.
it pops
of
out?
course.
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's a
through.
trooper. He's a trooper. Gotta give him an A.
Oh, not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you go.
I hear you.
There you
Listen,
go.
I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
But
only
with that,
Ron
we're going to take a
Jeremy,
quick
Batman.
commercial break and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler and broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, where we're welcoming the great Tod Gordon. How are you, sir?
No, that monologue wasn't too long. It was fine.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
What
The
is up?
legends. Oh my God. You have real advertisers and everything. Are you kidding me?
Cheers, Mr. Gordon. Cheers.
Cheers. L'chaim and all that other good stuff.
There
By
it
all
is.
means. Monte, right off the jump, quick question.
Go ahead.
Maybe I misunderstood your opening bit there, but are you trying to tell me you never wrapped your snake around a girl's arm or leg?
My snake?
Yeah. What is it, a garter?
That wasn't what you were talking about, right?
Well, no. Well, you know what? You kind of knocked me off my game there a second. I wasn't.
Good
I
job,
wasn't.
Todd.
I was not ready for that.
Todd's-
Let me put it this way, Todd. It's been so long that if
Oh,
I
no.
ever did,
here we
I
go.
cannot remember anymore. So I'll have to take the fifth.
The monologue was good. It's all right.
Thank you, sir.
You're
And
okay
as far
with
as
that?
I go, the arm, the leg, the neck, the foot, hey, you know,
That's why they call you the Pharaoh.
Todd.
thank you, sir.
By the way, I'm just carousing your book, right? Which, by the way, Todd is God, written by Tod Gordon, the great Tod Gordon.
The great Tod Gordon.
Along with the great Sean Oliver.
Absolutely.
Right? Sean Oliver, to all wrestling fans, is
Pro's pro.
we call him the original OG, right?
He's
the
a
guy
pro's pro.
the guy that had the vision and makes it work.
Yep.
A lot of guys have vision. That guy makes it. He gets it done, right? You know. But Todd, I'm very excited. I start reading your book, right? I just came from Amazon yesterday, so one thing I was looking through the book, and I'm like, Todd and Sean didn't put any pictures in here.
Uh-oh, here he goes.
And I said to Pharaoh, I'm going to have to bust Todd's balls because he didn't put any
There's
pictures in
pictures
here.
right in the middle.
But you found them.
yeah.
So Todd, respectfully, I got to tell you, is that your wife in those pictures? That's your wife?
What pictures?
In the book.
In your book, in the middle.
Hold on, I'm going to find
What picture are you looking at?
Hold on, Todd.
No, I know the pictures.
Yeah. Show them the picture you're
So
talking
there's a
about.
picture of you.
You gotta go to the
and
glossy
your
pages.
wife. First of all, we got to put the pictures in the middle of the book. I'm going to have to call Oliver
It's
about
glossy.
this.
It's hard to miss.
Well, hold on. I don't want to take
Oh,
up.
my God.
Keep talking to Todd until I find this.
Todd, do you believe
No, I
this
gotta
guy?
know. Because I guarantee there's no wife in any picture.
There you go. So it's not his wife. He's
She's got-
guaranteeing it.
All right, hold on, Todd. Just please hold on.
Just look for the glossy. You want me to get it for you? Oy vey.
Hold on,
This
folks.
is unbelievable. Todd, what are you drinking? Why don't you fill in the folks at home? What do we got?
Todd's
Some
like, I
Grey
can't believe We're
Goose?
sitting there strumming.
We got some Grey Goose.
Very nice. Very
The
nice.
goose is loose.
The goose is loose. It's going to get looser before this
Always.
interview is up. You realize that?
That's the idea.
There we
Nice.
go. All right.
Oh, there's the glossy
All right.
pictures.
Hold
All right.
on.
Okay.
So there's a picture of you and Adriana on your wedding day.
Adriana?
Am I pronouncing
Oh,
that
that's
right?
Adrian, but yes. Yes, Adrian.
Adrian.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, that's my wife, yes.
That is your wife.
Fuck. Yes.
Okay.
Fuck.
So
Thanks
I
for-
wa-
thanks
I
for starting
just
the show
want to
with
tell
me
you.
Do you
fucking
know
me.
that you have her in the book?
Do you know you started the whole fucking night off with getting me and give me heat over here? Thanks.
It's
Nice.
his idea. It's not mine.
All
Oh my
I'm
God,
trying to get
troublemaker.
across is
Troublemaker.
you are
Why
a
do you
lucky
ask?
man. This is a beautiful woman,
There
dude.
you go.
I was
Yes,
like,
she is.
wow,
Yeah.
Gordon can still pull it.
Can I see?
Yeah, look.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're-
damn. Todd is God. Wow.
You are God.
Nicely
Todd.
done. Nicely done.
We're 15 years together, man. It's all
Awesome.
good.
Congratulations.
That's about
Awesome.
that's 8 years ago, 7 years ago, but we're together 15.
Okay. Lovely.
That's great.
Lovely.
All right, stop looking at the pictures.
I'm
Let's get to
sorry.
the
I was
interview.
gonna walk off and
Again.
you know.
Can you tell people
Right.
out there where they can get the Todd is God book, Todd?
Oh, thanks for asking. Anywhere you want, any bookstore there is, Amazon, any place online, Barnes and Nobles, Simon and Schuster, we're distributing it. It's available anywhere you want.
It's a beautiful cover too, by the way. Very eye catching. So I figured I'd throw that
Thank
in.
you.
It looks
is.
great. It looks great.
It is. In actuality,
There is stuff in there that will even blow your guys' minds. That's hard to do.
Really.
After Fonzie stories, it's hard for me to top a Fonzie story, but there are a couple that are right in there.
John, I
Well-
wanted to ask you before we get started. The Todd is God. Did that ever make you feel uncomfortable? Because after all, God is,
It's not my choice to name the book that. I went back and forth with Sean, back and forth with Todd. They had a chant. If you have a chant, it's something people recognize on your birthday and stuff. Your whole wall got 800 people saying, Todd is good. That's how they know you. You got to use that title. I said, it feels weird. He said, it's for wrestling fans. They know. I
Yeah.
go, all right. So yeah, we went with that.
Perfect.
And Jimmy asked me like how I felt about it, right? Because I'm pretty religious, and I was like, nah, that's what the fans they chanted that. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I was just curious. I loved it back in the day. I was right along with the rest of them.
But I will tell you, again, don't take it the wrong way, but if you ever saw the movie The Devil's Advocate, this has kind of got like a Devil's Advocate feel to it, right? It does.
It does.
It looks like Todd is
cool.
God, but
That's
maybe
he
may be something else.
Ah.
What do you think of that?
Grey Goose.
All right, let's go.
Hit it.
Rock and roll.
Okay, so at the beginning of your book, of course, is the foreword, which is written by Terry Funk. How did that make you feel to have someone of Terry Funk's stature write your foreword? And what was your relationship with Mr. Funk, the great Terry Funk?
Terry Funk is God to me.
There you go.
You can see Todd has got Terry Funk is God to me. For the first time he came in our very first TV taping, when Eddie Gilbert brought him in, he was, the legend. He was already a legend. And all he did was, over the years in ECW, was become more of a legend. And he personally made Shane Douglas a name. He personally made Public Enemy a name. He personally made Sabu a name. He had main events, all three of those people. And without that, I don't know if they ever become main eventers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But he automatically elevated them to that level. He was kind and generous guy, and we had a great relationship. I was so humbled and touched that he agreed to do the forward. And he saw, we always got along. He was just a wonderful man and a locker room leader. I can tell you that I can never forget the night he's in the locker room and someone came hobbling in. Could have been JT Smith, one of the young guys. Come on over here. Bring your chairs around. We're in the locker room. So all the wrestlers come up, they pull the chairs up. Listen to me. When you go to a town, you rent a car and you get the insurance and you drive that son of a bitch right to the damn telephone pole or stop sign. Then you get all your medical bills paid for. And I'm sitting there like, wow. I mean, these other guys are going to let them write this down. Stop sign, insurance. Like, yeah, got it. Like, that's the way we do it. That's old school.
How do you come
That's
about?
Terry Funk's story.
How do you come about getting Terry Funk? Was he asked by you? Was he asked by Sean? I mean, how does Terry Funk wind up writing the forward?
Actually, Sean called him up and spoke to him because I didn't want to put him in that position of saying no to me because I respected him too much. So if he said no, that's cool. But let Sean ask him, so he's not put in an awkward position. And he was like, gung ho, I'd love to do it. He goes, I love Todd. Which, yeah, touching his how he was so important to us. So he put us on the map. Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell us a little about your relationship with you and Sean. How did you guys end up building a relationship, and how does he eventually come to get you to write this book?
Well, he got me on to do 2 DVDs. The first one was a double DVD, just talking about like 1 year of ECW, like 93, 94. Then the second one is a goofy, stupid, you shoot thing where people ask questions and he pulls out dumb props and says, hey, who smoked this? Who sorted that? Whatever. But we got along great. We had a rapport. We played off of each other. It was a natural thing. I said in his book, I wrote in his book, as a blurb, that he's the greatest straight man ever. Mm-hmm. Abbott Costello. He's like Abbott. He's like always the best straight man in the world. He knows how to Rowan and Martin. He's Rowan.
Right.
He knew how to play the straight man and make the other guy look good.
Yeah.
Without ever losing his own cool. And that's why I wrote this book. And I said, there's a blurb. I said, dude, like, you work great at what you do. So we became friends. We'd talk on the phone and he'd say something. I go, oh my God. That reminds me of the time Sandman made it, and I tell a story. He'd be rolling on the floor. He goes, that's got to go in the book. I go, well, yeah, it's not going to be a book. I said, I know. Next story here, a couple weeks later. Dude, we've got to write a book. I said, I am not writing a book. It's, that was 100 years ago. He said, tell me the story about when you and Paul left. I said, okay. He goes, well, that story's never been told before. I said, I know. is we have got to write this book. It's important to me. It's important to the fans. We got to do it. And the more you hammering at me, going at me, if I said, fucking, all right, let's do it. And the pandemic and all, we're spending about 8 to 10 hours a week on a Zoom call, Steve and I alone. And he'd say, tell me a story about Fonzie. 45 minutes later, 3 stories later, he's got it all recorded. Tell me something about November, remember. Whatever he'd say, he would just spark stories in my head. They were all over the place. And he had this impossible task to try to go and listen to all these recordings and put them in some kind of chronological order. And he did it, man. I don't know how he did it. Because I don't even do with you guys. I'll just go here. I'll just keep telling stories. That's what I did with him. And he put it all together and made it, I think, a really enjoyable, readable book.
Todd, what were you thinking about your ECW legacy that Sean had to convince you? I mean, were you underestimating the impact that it had on the fans, or was it just in the back of your mind over the years? You weren't even thinking about it. The fact that Sean had to convince you is very interesting to me.
I think my ego wasn't that enormous, that I could say, hey, by the way, here's what I did. It really wasn't Paul Heyman's ECW, even though everybody seems to call it that. I actually hired him. He worked for me for like years before we ever made any kind of business transactions or switch over. And he goes, but yeah, nobody knows that. I said, yeah, bro, about that 30 years ago. I don't think about it like that. He said, people need to know what really happened. People need to know what you did, what you didn't know.
For sure.
They don't know. I go, I understand that.
Are you glad at this point? Are you glad at this point that you wrote this?
Well, now I am. I'm getting the kind of feedback now that says like, dude, like I didn't know you wrote that angle, or I didn't know that was your idea, or wait, you're the one who made that. Yeah, it's all in the book. Yeah, I only told you the things I did. And say I never told you anything I didn't do. My philosophy is so simple, guys. All I wanted to do from day one was put on shows that I would want to see, that I'd want to go to. Our first big main event, first big show, Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Abdullah Butcher, and Kevin Sullivan. I wanted to see that match. And so did the rest of the arena. I realized that my taste is their taste, because I was one of them less than 6 months ago, or 8 months before it started. I said, I was a fan too. I was always a fan my whole life. But I hated, the shit that was being thrown at us. Cartoons and actual cartoons. And, the bait and switch. Oh, God. I hated the bait and switch. I hated it when they'd say, oh, someone's going to get a mask tonight. They build it up for a month. And then, whoosh, he's got another mask on underneath. Oh, I want to throw up. Oh, someone's getting stripped tonight. Yeah, no, they're not. They're going to have a blanket over them. So whatever stipulation was, it was always a ripoff. And that used to insult my intelligence. And I swore that if I ever had a chance to do something like this, I would not insult the fans' intelligence. I mean, we did Ian and Axel Rotten against, I'm not sure the other team. Loser was split up forever. Ian and Axel, a tag team of 15 years.
Yep.
Never tagged again.
Right.
We honored this. We didn't insult his intelligence. We never unmanned. Well, we said someone get stripped in the ring. Angel Amoroso flashed all 4 sides. Got some hell from that from the commission. I said, hey, I didn't know it was going to happen. It was an accident. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever I said back then to keep us going. But we made a promise. We kept it. And that was so important to me. Just didn't want to insult these people because I hated getting insulted myself.
Perfect.
We're speaking to the great Tod Gordon, who recently came out with his book, Todd is God, which I also is coming out on audio, I think, in another 2 weeks or so, I believe.
Excellent.
So, Todd, if I'm
15th,
going to make a hard...
August 15th.
August 15th.
Nice.
If I was to make a hard sell to a fan out there, what is Tod Gordon's favorite chapter of Todd is God?
Wow. I mean, my favorite chapter is a very intimate, personal chapter about a loss of a loved one. But on a upbeat side, I guess my favorite chapters with a posse, which was me, Sandman, Scorpio, and Fonzie. We traveled everywhere together. And some of those road stories are, they're just insane. Let me throw you one. That's no.
So
You want me to throw you one?
Throw it.
throw it.
Not the bottle of Grey Goose, but the,
Yeah.
hit it.
Okay. We used to stay at this place called the Loser Lodge.
Yeah,
It's
what?
called the Travel Lodge. We call it the Loser Lodge.
Loser
We
Lodge.
stay there every month. Yes.
Did you run
Every
into
month
me
we had
at the
a
Loser
full-
Lodge by any chance? But,
I did not.
it
But-
was all booked up. Okay, so we're at the Loser Lodge. All right.
We stay there every month. So after a show, arena show, we're in the hotel room. Sandman, Fonzie, myself, and Scorpio. And Sandman goes, "Yo, is this room 705?" We look to go, look at the door. Yeah, it is. Why? He jumps up out of his chair, runs to the corner of the room, and he's just ripping the carpet up. I go, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing? I gotta pay for that shit. Don't destroy the hotel. He goes, just wait.
Uh-oh.
Rips the carpet up,
He's looking for
pulls
something.
out an 8-ball cocaine.
I knew it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
We're going, what? Know something? We've been at this hotel 6 months since he put that there,
Get
and
out.
he forgot. Back then, he used to have to go to Utah to do work during the week, and they would take on the plane. So he hid in the carpet, and until he saw the number 705, 6 months later, that's when he remembered he was there. So we're dying. I mean, we're hysterical. And he goes, "Scorp, come on, me." He just marched down the hall with a snot rag in his back pocket, no shirt, no shoes. That was him. Goes to the elevator. Fonzie and I are right behind the door. He goes, "Help me lift this planter." There's this giant freaking planter by the elevator. Him and Scorp were lifting it up. He goes, "Ah! I got another one." He pulled out another fucking 8-ball.
This guy's planting coke all over the Loser Motel. What the? Okay.
Just this one works. He had to leave that next day. But the fact is, we're there 6 times in a row before he remembered he did that.
What's more amazing
He's
is nobody
special.
found it in the in-between. What the?
Well,
I guess you put
no
it in a
one's lifting
spot
up
you're not
that
really going to
planter.
look, so.
Yeah, you're not going to lift up a planter or start digging up carpet for some reason. I mean, they were great hiding places.
They
So
were.
good he couldn't remember himself.
Oh, my God.
That's
but
a
the,
typical
but the room
story
never
of the
triggered him. That's funny.
Yeah. 6 months later.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Listen, so I was going to ask you about this, but since you
Sandman
brought it
rules.
up, I feel like I have to ask it. Angel Amoroso, who was in studio here, one of your originals, she made a ton of accusations that happened to her in ECW, and some of it was quite appalling.
Very,
And I'm
very.
not going to mention the names she mentioned.
No.
But, and I'm not asking you to mention any names, but what I'm asking you
No.
is, do you believe there's truth behind it, or do you think maybe it's years have passed and there's anger involved, maybe, of her career not getting to where it had to be?
Honestly, I love Angel because that night, there's supposed to be Peaches and Tigra in the loser gets strip match. We build it up. They come to the arena that night, and there's a pretty good crowd. Now we're starting to build an audience. And they look at it and they go, "There's kids here. We're not doing this." I said, "Guys, you told me this is what was going to happen. You're going to do it. You can't maybe go back to stipulation. You're going to kill everything I'm trying to build up here. I'm not doing it." Wasn't here Angel say, "I'll do it." God bless her. I said, "Angel, I appreciate that more than you know. You got a job here as long as you want a job here." That meant a lot that she was trying to save my ass, or not save my ass, but save the integrity of what I was trying to put out there. I don't know anything about these accusations. I know there's a whole thing, website with a bunch of wrestlers going back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it was. I didn't realize that a lot of it happened, or any of it happened in ECW, because she never came to me, and we were very friendly.
Okay.
She never said a word to me.
Okay.
So I can't even respond to that. I won't bullshit you about anything you ask me. But I really didn't know anything about that until, there was ECW related until recently. Until tonight.
Fair enough.
I just knew there was a bunch of names on her website.
Sure. So, how does a gentleman like yourself, from what I understand, you owned a jewelry store, maybe it was a pawn shop, I'm not exactly sure which one it was. What makes you become and decide, hey, I'm going to build a wrestling promotion? How does that happen?
First of all, that's a pandemic picture when I couldn't get my damn beard trimmed. We even did an article about us.
You look good. I like the suit. Go ahead.
For the record, the article was, our store's been there 163 years. It is a jewelry-only pawn shop or loan office. We get nothing but diamonds and gold. You don't see musical instruments. You won't see radios, stereos, Game Boys. It's strictly jewelry. And the interesting thing about the article is Carver Reed, which is the name of my store, may be the only institution to have survived 2 pandemics 100 years apart.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, wow.
Yeah.
And that was where she went from. That's where with the gist we went from there. So still have that store. And how I got from one to the other, you tell me. I was a giant fan. I grew up loving Chief Jake Strongbow, Bruno, and Bulldog Brower, and Kowalski. I was a huge fan. Little kid. I said older and older. I was always a fan, but hated what I was saying. Flipping through the dial and radio. We come to an all sports station in Philadelphia, WIP. I go, wait, what do you say? They were talking about wrestling. Now, at that time, 1989 maybe, wrestling was hardly considered something you want to brag about to your friends. Oh, yeah, I watch wrestling. They go, what? Yeah, so like, different time period. So I was freaked out. Oh, my God. And I'm listening to everybody's Joe Goodhart, who had a promotion called TWA. So I just got to get my foot in the door. Son, I got to, like, this has been, I'm a mark for this shit, it's wrestling, So I take a commercial on a show. That's how we get to know each other. Once a week, 30-second commercial Carver week. Because, we offer appearances, but any wrestler you want. Because I can get you anybody. I can get you this chick, I can get that chick. The Freebirds, Buddy Rogers, I can get you. Greg Valentine, anybody you want. So I thought about it. I go, what would be a real great champion hat on it? How about Missy Hyatt? So he's like, Missy Hyatt? I go, man, she was freaking stone cold gorgeous then. She had never had any work done. She was right out of Texas wrestling, young and beautiful. He goes, okay. He got her, Missy Hyatt. And she came in, laid across all my jewelry counters, and drew a crowd. Just like any wrestler would have, she drew her own crowd, which was fine by me. I never would have understood that day, when I actually was shy around her, that she'd been working for me for years and years after that.
So of all the legends that you could have done with, you started with Missy Hyatt.
Yeah, I was a guy. That's like I get anybody. I wouldn't
Here's
Missy
the guy.
Hyatt.
Oh, let's see. You can have Piper or Snooker or Maroc. I want Missy Hyatt. Boing. Okay,
Well, no,
I got it.
If they were under contract, they weren't available. Snooker,
Right.
Snooker, Piper, yeah. But
Right.
there were some big names. Believe me,
Right.
Austin Idol. Still feeling Missy Hyatt. I wish.
I get it. I get it. What does it take to pick a lineup when you're starting a company? I mean, ultimately, the ECW roster was just future legends just waiting to be born. But when you're first starting it, I mean, it's not just Missy Hyatt. You got to, put together a roster. What does that take?
I pretty much picked Joel's roster. He was doing these once-a-month shows at the bars, and then once every 4 months, a big show in the Civic Center. So we had a local wrestling school in town, and that's who approached me to keep the thing going. He went out of business. So, please, just get a license. Bob Ortiz, I'll do the ring announcing for free. Steve Troy, I'll do the sound for free. Larry Winters, I'll do the wrestling for 60%. Anyway, but they're all dying to do this. So I said yes. Got the license. I was just doing bar shows. And I thought, I got to figure a way to make this a little bit better, like drawing 80 people. And someone told me Ivan Koloff was in Maryland. Wow. And it's only like $300. Whereas most main event guys were at least 5,000. So I call him up and he goes, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, I'm looking for Ivan Koloff. Yeah, this is me, this is Ivan. No, I'm looking for Ivan Koloff.
You don't sound like Ivan. Who is this?
Exactly. You know, I'm a mark. I'm just starting out. I go, Ivan Koloff?
Right.
He goes, yes, Ivan. I go, you beat Bruno, right? We're doing the same Ivan Koloff. Yeah. So I brought him up for like the first show. And I said, like, who do you want me to put over? I said, what do you mean? Who do you want me to elevate? Who do you want me to lose to? I said, I wouldn't ask you to lose to anybody. Are you kidding me? Fucking Ivan Koloff. Remember how you sound, not the accent. It's like, dude, like, seriously. The whole idea of this is me to help elevate your guys. If they beat me, it gives them a rub. Therefore, they eventually can become. And that's one of the first lessons I learned. And with every progressive show, I learned on the fly. I was like a guy in the stands. I'm saying, I kept learning. I absorbed it all. I was like obsessed with absorbing it all. I never make the same mistake twice. From Ivan, I went on to Jimmy in Morocco. But I'll give you another good story.
Cheers.
Thank you. Chestnut Cabaret, a small facility that held maybe 400 or 500 people, which we never filled. That's what it held. We're in the locker room. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Metal Maniac. Anybody?
Yeah, I know the Metal Maniac.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, what about him?
He was
Pharaoh-
I can't stand him,
Pharaoh and him are
Todd.
very good
but that's
friends.
okay. We are not good friends. He's a blabbermouth. A blabbermouth. But go ahead. Go ahead. I still have respect for him.
Ralph
Don't get me
Cramden, you're
wrong.
going to love this story.
All right. hit
Ralph,
it.
that's a very good Ralph Cramden, by the way. I love the
Thank
Ralph
you,
Cramden.
sir. I appreciate
Anyway,
that.
absolutely. You're going to love the story then.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy, Jimmy, he drove Jimmy around basically. He stayed with him, did his laundry for him. He was like his guy.
Did his
So Jimmy
laundry
get
for
matches
him.
on-
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. Did his laundry for him. Go
And
ahead.
Jimmy was, would get him matches. A lot of times against himself.
Mm-hmm.
So the small venues would be Jimmy against the Metal Maniac, who were in the locker rooms. Ivan Koloff and Jimmy and the regular guys, my guys. And Jimmy looks at Ivan and goes, you got a blade? And Ivan looks at his box and goes, nah, I got this one, but it's all rusty. Jimmy goes, it's okay, brother, it's okay. And you see Maniac's eyes getting this big. He goes, what? Are we doing color night, Jimmy? Jimmy goes, easy, brother, easy. So he takes this rusty blade from Ivan, and he goes, I'll put it up and talk like this. He thrown it away. Maniac has no clue. They go to the ring. They start to work, and Jimmy goes, zip! And Maniac's going, she's going, brah, squeeze. And Maniac's going, he goes, anything? Jimmy goes, no, come here, man. He goes, always uses his fingernail. So he goes, zip again. Now Maniac's in the ring, he goes, brah, squeeze. And he's going, he got so red. I thought his head was going to explode. And Jimmy never cracked a smile until he got in the back, and then he just laughed his fucking ass off.
Oh, my God.
It was just one of the first ribs I ever saw from quote-unquote superstars, and it was hilarious.
And then he did his laundry for him, right?
Well, afterwards, sure.
Wow.
Calgon, take me away.
Wow.
That's great.
How do you get involved with Eddie Gilbert, and how do you eventually have a falling out with Eddie Gilbert? What goes on there?
Dennis Carluso was a promoter in South Jersey when I first started. He was like Joe Goodhart's, counterpart, whatever competition. And when I took over, from our started my own company, I said to him, I called him once, listen, I don't want to feud with you like you and Joel did. Let's make this easy. I'm a businessman. You stay in Jersey, and I'll stay in Philadelphia. Don't promote on my side of the bridge. I won't promote on your side of the bridge. Don't use the same guys as me, and I won't use the same guys as you. And we can both coexist beautifully. All good. Then I get a phone call one day. I've got a chance to do a charity show at the Philadelphia Airport Marriott. A convention and then a wrestling show that night. Yeah. Because I know I can't promote there via our agreement, but I would like to cut you into the deal. Give you a percentage of the house without you laying out anything. I'll bring Sam and whoever you want on the show to work a match and get them paid. Okay, I like the deal. At that convention, Kevin Sullivan bolts out the back door. The cops are after him. So he had to leave. Now that night, Kevin Sullivan's got a match with my dear Nancy woman. And I didn't remember who he was working with. So I come in there and ask him, Carrie to fill in. Because Carrie's a big name. Carrie, can you fill for Kevin? I said, yeah, brother. Okay. So I hand him a hood. He goes, what's this for? I go, I want you to wear the hood when you go to the ring. So Nancy can say, Kevin's not here tonight, but don't be upset. Look what I got as a replacement. You take the hood off, big pop. He goes, got it, boss. He walks away. 10, 15 minutes later, he walks over again. He says, tell me again why I'm wearing the hood. I said, because Kevin's not here and Nancy will bring you out. No one knows it's you. They don't want to see Kevin. I said, disappointing them. You pull it off, big pop. Got it, boss, got it. Match time comes. He comes walking up towards the ramp. I hand him the hood. He goes, what's that for?
Oh my God. He's shot.
I said, uh-oh. I said,
No one's paying attention. What the?
Nancy's going to take you out. And I told him the story again. He's got it. Music hits.
You sure?
He grabs a jacket, puts it on, walks out, and it says Kerry across the back of his jacket when he's wearing a hood.
Oh boy.
It's got the tassels. It says Kerry, but he's going to surprise everybody and show them who he is. Oh my God.
Man plans and God laughs. Oh boy. This is rough.
It was his last match. Actually, it was his last match, and he passed away like 2 days later.
Oy.
Sadly.
Oy.
But that night, you have to laugh at that. The story's still funny. But that night, I'm in the back, and I see Eddie Gilbert there. And I've just got this TV deal. Really nobody knows about it. So I kind of sidle up to Eddie, and I go, I hear you book TV. He looks at me and goes, you got TV? It was like a drug deal. It was hysterical.
He's looking around.
You got
Right.
TV? Yeah, he doesn't want anybody, he's paranoid. He doesn't want anybody to know his business. You got TV? I go, yeah, it's starting. I need to put the shit. Long story short, we made a deal. I brought Eddie in. It was great. He took me to the next level.
Yeah.
He started bringing the Memphis style, like hardcore stuff up here.
Yes.
Again, from the beginning, I wanted to be extreme hardcore. That's what I was going for from day one. I liked that stuff. People in the audience that were there, that they liked that stuff. And then he was bringing it up. Okay? I mean, it was a lot like Memphis. He threw the crown king of Philadelphia. Like Lawler wore the crown king of Memphis. So it was like, he idolized Jerry Lawler. Would it be like Jerry Lawler? And so he mimicked a lot of that stuff. But it was new up here. We didn't get Memphis TV. So our people were digging it. And he was hysterical. We'd go out with our cameraman, Matt Radico, in nightclubs in Philadelphia. Thousands of people dancing. You couldn't barely walk. Here goes Matt with a big light on the camera. And Eddie wearing his robe, his crown. And he walked to this dance club going, the sunglasses. I can't, no time right now. I'll be back. Everybody's looking like, who's this jackass? Like, no one knew him. But that's what made it so funny. Because Eddie had a great sense of humor. There's a place called Jim's King of Steaks. Eddie would go up to the window, get the camera on, and he goes, well, you can't be the king. I'm the king. And he goes, what are you talking about? I'm the king. I'm the king. And he goes, well, you can't be the king because I'm the king. I got the crown. And he get into an argument with this guy. It's like a literally screaming match with this guy. The guy has no idea he's being worked. And then he's just, I mean, that made for great TV. He was funny. He was a really good guy. And boy, did we lose him way too soon.
Oh, for sure. Todd, I gotta ask you. You know, up to this point in the story and up to this point in the interview, I have not heard Paul Heyman come into the story yet. And you just said that hardcore was your vision right from the beginning. So I'm asking you, because I know it would piss me off. Paul Heyman gets all the credit for the hardcore. Do you ever think to yourself, hey, wait a minute, what about me?
Oh, what about me? What about Eddie? You know, it was he had what he did, but putting his stamp on things, took it from Eddie's level through the roof.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I give him total, no question.
Right.
But he didn't invent the style. He invented the grunge music to go with the style,
Sure.
which in itself was brilliant.
Sure.
I mean, I'm still listening to classic rock, and he's going, here, listen to this. It's Nirvana. It's this. It's that. It's Here Comes the Hot Stepper. Like, going, shit's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really turned me on to all his music, and I loved it all. Use it. Whoever it was, use it. I never said it's going to cost us anything, and thank God it didn't. And thank God we didn't get sued for it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any permission to use one song anywhere on there. That's why Vince's replays of our stuff is always generic music.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Public Enemy coming out going,
I know.
la-di-da-di-da-di,
That's rough.
wait, what was new? It made no sense. It didn't connect at all. I mean, it's hard enough for Johnny Grunge to keep any beat, but when music they were putting in, it made Johnny look worse.
Speaking of Public Enemy,
that was not a knock on Paul.
One wrestler that wrestled under you was Ted Petty. How tough was Ted Petty in real life?
Teddy was a Gold Glove boxer. Teddy, like Johnny, was close to being back then as Sandman, Fonzie, and Scorpion, those guys were. We were tight. The night Teddy died, he was on his way to work a show for me. I was booking for Jasmine at that time. And he was coming to my show to work at a prior show. I'd do anything for Teddy. Teddy was like that. And Johnny, too. I mean, they were two of my favorite people in the locker room. And Teddy was tough. No test him or anything, but he was tough. And he had this unique and uncanny ability to go from a comedy promo, yeah, Johnny, oh no, to bang on a dime. And Bruce Brothers, he would go from funny to intense.
Just like that. Yep.
Amazing. I mean, not many people, very few people could do that. And he was believable in his comedy, believable in his intensity, like he's going to kill somebody. Teddy was great once he took that cheated kid mask off and someone actually let him go.
Davio, one of the fans out there, has a comment for you. He says, Todd is the wise man, Heyman is the shady man.
Ooh.
Thoughts on that comment?
Ooh.
Look, for the first few years, Paul was my best friend back then.
Sure.
We collaborated on everything.
Sure.
So I am not going to sit here and put a knock on him at all. You want to talk about it, how he, at the end, how things ended? Yeah, that was shady. I'm not going to lie. But for the first few years, he was honest with me. He was truthful with me. It wasn't like when Kevin Sullivan said, oh, Paul, he would rather climb a tree and lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. Well, I wasn't experiencing that back then.
Right.
Eventually that became the case. But at the beginning, it wasn't like that. I mean, I'd be in Philadelphia, he'd be in New York. Go drive down the street smoking our dukes. And it started with, how about retarded Dudley? We can't do that with that.
Retarded Dudley?
We can do we just kept throwing out names.
You're throwing it out all right.
Snot Belly.
Snot belly.
You know,
Kind of like snot belly.
Snot Dudley. It's not Dudley. It was Snot Guy. It was Sign Guy, who, by the way, was just a way to get back the guy in the front row with the signs.
Yeah. Yes.
Sign Guy Dudley was there to get the guy in the front row with the signs.
Oh, that's great.
Playoff.
That's great.
We love the audience. They
Yeah.
fed us. We fed it right back. I mean, the fact that we made a character just for one guy in an audience tells you all you need to know. It was such a symbiotic relationship, man. These people brought weapons to the shows. They had chants for everybody. Allah Todd is God. I didn't make that up. They did.
Sure.
I mean, Shah, shit, whatever it was, they were part of it. It was the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Those fans were incredible.
Yes.
And we fed off of them. They fed off of us. And
Yes.
it was awesome.
Excellent analogy. I
That
love the
is-
Rocky
that
Horror
is.
Picture Show
Yeah,
thing. Boy,
that
did
is.
you nail that.
Again, before the next question, Pharaoh, again, I want to remind everybody, Todd is God, written by the great Tod Gordon, along with the great Sean Oliver. It's an authorized story of how I created ECW. You can get it on Amazon or wherever books are sold, and I think Todd just said August 15th.
Yep.
It comes out on audio for those who do not like to read.
Who doesn't like
And
to read?
I stand corrected. It has.
Most of my friends,
What's that?
most of the guys in the locker room,
They don't like to read? I believe it. Come to think of it.
But the good thing is, it has a bunch of pictures in it.
It does. They're
Which-
glossy.
they're
You gotta look for the-
glossy,
yes,
yes.
you got to look for the glossy. All right, let's get back to the beginnings. Of course, in the beginning, you had guys like Morocco, a legend. You had Snuka. But the real key was building your own legends. So, how about Sandman? Because he's clearly on the Mount Rushmore of ECW as far as the great
Absolutely.
all-time ECW guys. How do you meet this guy, and where does it come to you to, like, you know what, this is world champion material, and I'm going to make this guy one of the main guys?
I mean, we could do a whole show on this, but nonetheless, here goes.
Sure.
He was one of Joel's guys. So when I did the bar shows where Joel used to do the Mike Smith Sports Bar, I go in and I've talked to all the guys. Here, come on, I'm going to book you. I booked them all together. I go to the sports bar, and the owner goes, "You got it. Great deal. Tuesday nights, nobody's here. We'll keep the bar tab. You keep the wrestling tickets and the merchandise, and you don't have to pay anything." Sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
liking it.
Of course, yeah. Here's one thing. That guy is Sandman. He can't work here. I've not run a show yet. I said, what? Yeah, he spit on one of the waitresses one time when he was near the customer, and he's not welcome here. I go, all right, hold on. What if I can get him to apologize to that waitress? Can we figure out a way to make this work out for both of us? Like a 1 month suspension, maybe 2, but no more than that. Come on, he'll apologize. So I call him up. I go, dude, they're not letting you on the show. What do you mean? I go, you spit on the waitress. He goes, fuck that, man. Gotta go in there and apologize to her. He goes, I ain't fucking apologizing that. I said, okay, then you, hey, nice to meet you. Like, I can't use you anymore then. This is the only place I'm running, so thanks. What's your name again? I said, okay, you came, so he came in and he apologized.
There you go.
And from that point on, it's 30 years later, 31 years later, we're still best friends. We've been best friends from that day forward. I don't know, we hit it off. We had the same love of the Philly sports teams. We were born the same day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we had this thing, this sympathetic. I mean, I was with him today. He took me to some stem cell doctor he goes to. He had shots in our backs and stuff. Because we're all like half crippled, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's one of the byproducts of getting thrown through tables,
Yep.
chair shots, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
But we found some guy who gives us these shots, and they're stem cells. It's like a homeopathic doctor. I'm like, I'm not going to some homeopathic doctor. And my own doctor said, you're a rock bottom. You tried everything. You're like a cripple. You walk with a cane. So I went. It was like a miracle. This guy's shooting natural stuff like rose hips, blah, blah, blah. And it worked. I would never believe it's humanly possible, but it worked. So here we are again, 31 years later. 40% of the stories, of the funny stories in the book are about Sandman. But he comes out, we finally get to use him again. Eddie comes along, Paul comes along, whatever. And I said, this guy's not getting over because his gimmick sucks. You know, he went to Memphis once because Laura used to bring independent guys from around the country. And Laura goes, oh, it's a good gimmick. And that's all he had to say. I go, I love this gimmick. I go, no, you don't. The gimmick sucks. You're in Philadelphia. You're playing a character. You're not a character. You're not Duke the Dumpster. You're not, a pig farmer. You're a fucking barroom brawler. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You work your ass off all week. You go to the bar. You chug until you have to beat somebody's ass. You get a fight. That's who you are.
Yes.
I turn to Paul. I'm going to change, turn his character. I want to completely redo him. He goes, what did you have in mind? I tell him. He goes, you can't smoke a cigarette in the ring or ringside.
Yes, you can.
I said, not only can you,
Yeah.
but you can drink goddamn beer too.
Oh, great. Great.
He's, what do you, I said, Paul, one thing I learned from Eddie Gilbert is you can do anything in wrestling. He's going to try. See what happens.
Yes.
So we gave Sandman the new gimmick, which of course he took and flew with.
Oh, he must have loved it when you told it to him. He must have loved it.
Absolutely. But Paul, who didn't like the gimmick because we thought we couldn't do it, to his credit, following week on TV, our show comes on, all of a sudden, there's a Sandman promo in black and white. Nothing else on the show is in black and white. Just that. As he blows the smoke into the camera in black and white, it's like, what a visual. After that, we showed his matches only in black and white.
Yes.
The whole show's colored, except for Sandman stuff,
Excellent.
which made him stand out like, boom, like, you couldn't ask to stand out more. 20 years later, 50, whatever it was, NWA Tribe did the same thing.
Yep.
That's the first time it had ever been done.
Yep.
Where the show, all color, the one match, one person was always black and white. And it really elevated him, made him stand out. And the rest he did on his own because he's a tough bastard and will fight and take it and give it and take it. And he made the rest happen on his own. But that was the elevation of Sandman.
Todd, you must have smiled too because I remember the NWO on WCW doing black and white promos.
But that's what he just said.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't realize to the moment he just said that. That's where the NWA promo
That's
came
what
from.
I'm saying.
Amazing.
It was brilliant.
Amazing,
Brilliant, Todd.
Todd.
Brilliant.
Eric watched us. That was the black and white was Paul. I gave him credit for that.
Okay.
The gimmick I gave him.
Yes.
But again, that was our collaboration.
That's
I came
beautiful.
up with this gimmick. He made it happen.
Yep.
And yeah, that was us.
Little wrestling Lennon and McCartney going on there. I'm liking that, with the collaboration. That's sweet. Sweet.
So, Todd,
That's the way we started out.
Todd, you're a fan, and you start this promotion. Just being fans, you hear the stories. The ECW wrestlers were out of control, right? They were partying their asses off. How bad did it get for you? Did it ever get out of control? And if it did, how did you get out of it?
For me personally, or for me running the company?
For you personally. I imagine, you're being a fan. Now you're hanging with the boys. They're drugging up a bit. Now you're like, hey, let me hang with the boys. And I'm going to drug up a bit.
Did you find yourself caught up in partying with the guys?
And how'd you pull out of that?
Well, let me start it this way. I used to make a joke back in the old days, do interviews in 92, 93, 94, that if you can pass a drug test, you can't get into ECW. 30 years later.
That's great.
Yes, and it was funny then. 30 years later, when all the people have died. But 30 years later, when all the people have died, it's not as funny now as it was then.
No.
But back then, that was my big line.
Sure.
Hawk would come and say, yeah, this is the land of misfits. Like, everybody's locker room is a fucking misfit. I love it.
Yep.
And I had one rule. I don't care how fucked up you get. I don't care what you do. Don't do it till your shit's over. don't come to the arena before that match and stumble around because you're done. I won't hammer anybody for what you do in your private life. Don't let it affect your in-ring stuff.
Right.
Not your father. But I have someone who's running a business here, and you come in fucked up, you're affecting my business. And they are like, dude, that's a fucking cool attitude. Like, you got it. And nobody came to the ring fucked up ever. Afterwards, well, Hack did, of course. That was the beer, whatever. Afterwards, whatever they did, but really nobody got whacked before shows, ever. Me personally, it wasn't like I was a version of stuff like that. I mean, I had partied, it was probably in the 70s, for God's sakes. 70s. Girls were burning their bra and having free sex and drugs and sex and rock and roll. Pot was like, that's what it was. Everybody's trying everything. That's experimentation. There was no HIV yet. There was no AIDS. There was no, well, no one was doing needle, I was saying, but none of the stuff they warned you about afterwards was prevalent back then.
Right.
Back then, it was like, damn, this is the greatest time of life to live. It's before things got serious again. We went, oh, there's trouble if you do that. And after the point, when people were saying, like, oh, no, we don't do that. So that middle period right there that I lived through, that's who I was. I mean, I wasn't some guy shooting needles and laying the street like that. But I went to college, I partied like anybody else did. That's what we did in the 70s. So here's the 90s. It wasn't that far removed when we were doing that. And again, I started hanging out with Sandman, Fonzie, Scorpion, that kind of inner crew, which expanded with Sabu and the Pitbulls. And everybody's partying. Everybody did something different. You walk down the hall of the hotel, the drinkers in this room, the smokers all in this room, the pilly guys in that room. And that was not our scene. We were not the pill guys. We just like to hang out. When we go to the shows, Sandman had a van. We called the Sandman van. And he had a rule. The radio does not come on in the van. What are you talking about? A 3-hour ride? No. We just bullshit and talk. And all we did was talk wrestling angles, our personal lives. I mean, we became so close. And he never put that radio on once in that van. And all of us, and Nancy was the fifth. God bless her soul. For a long time. She still actually got Scorpio and Fonzie in. It was just me, Sandman, Nancy, and Peaches for a while there. And then she got the other guys in, and that's the way it was. We just talked wrestling. And Fonzie, my God, he's like an encyclopedia. He's been around for 150 years. It's insane. He tells we're talking about a story. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Was that with Lex Luger and
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody, yeah. They had and Fonzie goes, oh, I remember that, yeah. I refereed it. We were traveling for 7 months, you refereed it. How did you not ever tell us that story? That's fine. I mean, it would come to him, and he had more. It was unbelievable. But we'd pick apart our matches. We'd talk about our angles, what could we have done better? There was nothing but constructive criticism of that band. And it was just a relationship group. So the party part, after the shows, just like I told them, they can do whatever they want. I'm a grown man, I can do whatever I want. I'm to answer anybody. I didn't have to be a role model, they're all grown men. There's nobody there under 21. And these grown men who could do whatever they wanted to do. I certainly wasn't saying, hey, come here, buddy, let's go party. No, it wasn't like that. I wasn't a big druggie. But I got high and I drank, we did some blow. That was it for me. But we weren't about that as much as we were just being together, living the wrestling life, feeling the whole atmosphere and getting the whole, like I said, watching the matches, going over everything together. Yeah, I remember him. Anyway, so it wasn't really a problem for me. It was not a problem even a little bit. No one ever said once to me oh, we gotta watch the boss, he's out of control. I was never out of control. I was always in control.
So you were enjoying yourself, but you weren't pulling a Herb Abrams. I got you.
Oh my God, no.
You would know. You know Herb Abrams.
I never showed up to a show high or buzzed or whacked or whatever.
Right. Very
No.
good. Very
Todd, you mentioned Nancy Benoit, a woman, a few times during this interview. When you found out about the tragedy, how bad did that affect you?
I remember maybe the first time that Sandman and I ever saw each other cry. She was such an amazing person, man. She was like, even though she was not a major factor in terms of in-ring, she was a veteran in our locker room from day one, even though she was with Kevin. Then he left, and she was like, came with us, like that. She was part of our little group, and she was like a sister, a daughter, a mom. She was everything to all of us. Always carried a knife in her boot just in case, and thank God she never, not where I saw her, but she never partied with us. I mean, she smoked in the car or whatever, but I mean, she wouldn't, if the shows were over, she went to her room. There was never any rumors about her. She was just a good person. I mean, believe it or not, the first time I ever got color with Fonzie, and I couldn't decide, I'd never done it before. Should I do it to myself or should I let him do me? She's the person I went and asked. Of all the veterans in that locker room, I trusted her like that. I said, Nancy, what do you think? She said, no, never, ever, ever let somebody give you color. You get color, you do it. Don't ever put yourself in somebody else's hands. And she was just a great person. And I despise that son of a bitch for what he did. But yes, I love Nancy to death.
I was going to ask you that question for the wrestling fans that are out there that still idolize
And attempt
Chris
to
Benoit
apologize. for
just
Chris.
because he
Yeah.
could wrestle. What kind of message would you send to those fans?
I tell them, well, get a fucking clue, man. Seriously. What are you, oh wait, is it CT? No. Oh, maybe it's a stranger came in. Here's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy this. He's hopped up on roids, and he took from this world, not only a child, but one of the nicest, most wonderful people we ever met. I can't say his name. Let's not say him. Because he's a piece of shit.
Kudos to you, sir, because I agree with you
Absolutely.
100%.
You couldn't agree more.
And thank you for answering that question.
Thank you. He is a piece of
I
shit.
told you I'll answer anything. I'll try.
Yeah, he is a piece of shit. All right. Where do we go from there?
What are the chances of a 60-second break for refill?
You've got a 60-second. Go.
Love it.
You're good.
For Rico?
For a refill.
Oh, a refill. I heard
refill.
Rico. I'm like, what the hell? All
All
right.
right. So far. Unbelievable
Oh my
interview.
God. Are
Todd
you kidding
Gordon.
me?
If
He's
people-
given me
again,
goosebumps
people,
3 times during this.
Todd is God. Written by the great Tod Gordon and Sean Oliver.
Yep. And with glossy pictures.
Voted
inside.
by Terry Funk.
You gotta look for
You
them,
get it
but-
Amazon and wherever books are sold, right? Mm-hmm. I got to tell you guys, I'm excited. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I just got the book late yesterday from Amazon.
All right.
And
You don't
I'm
speed
working
read?
all day.
Didn't they have
no,
courses when we were kids?
This
You're
is
supposed
this
to...
is definitely my beach book.
Yeah, you don't want to speed read that.
Again, like I was telling people earlier in the interview, I was going to give Todd some shit because I couldn't find any pictures.
It's
but,
right-
But you found it.
I found it
You
right
found
away.
it. But I'm really excited because, look, whether you're an ECW fan or not, right? I wasn't a huge ECW fan.
I was out of my mind.
But I would say this.
Yeah.
I knew who Tod Gordon was.
Sure.
And I think in anybody's life, when you're trying to do something, you want to be a game changer. We talked about game changers last week,
Game
right?
changer.
Gordon
Yeah.
changed the
course.
face of pro wrestling.
Yes, he did. To this day. Still
again,
feeling it. Yep.
Heyman gets a lot of credit for it, and I guess he should, right? For sure.
Yeah, but I want more for Todd. I'm being a pain in the ass about this. Screw you, Paul. What the hell?
Well, you
I love Paul Heyman, but I still feel like Todd should get more credit. I'm sorry, Todd. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Well,
but that's how I feel.
Well, with this book, and if people read the book,
read the damn
I
book.
think you're going to realize.
or on the 15th, listen to the audio.
And again, I'm really, until he said it, I never thought about the black and white
Oh my
translating
God!
to the NWO.
Absolutely.
All right, Todd's refilled. Let's hit it.
Did you refill it to the brim? You got it up to the top there, or we want to get the best of you, or is it the worst of you, or is it both?
Always both.
There you go. Nice. I want to switch over to, and we've had him on the show, and he had a show on our channel. One of your originals was Tommy Cairo. Can you share your thoughts about Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy was a great hand. I met Tommy when he and now little Guido came up to me one day at a show and said, "We'd like to try out. Like we need work. We're local. We're not expensive. We're good hands. We like to do something." I said, "Well, we're doing a charity show at the Variety Club camp for developmentally challenged children, which was my charity at the time, and I was very involved in it. It's a free show, so no one's getting paid, but everybody's coming because we're there. And we're already that's a step in the right direction. They understood the fact that not everything's about how much you're gonna make that day, and they came up there and they did a great match. And it was obvious they'd done it, 15, 20 times before because it was so tight. And all of our guys were like, I never worked JT before, I never worked Sandman or Rebel. Let me do that. But these guys were tight. It was a no-brainer. Great hands. And they were good guys. They weren't like, there's some people in the independent scene, for some reason, didn't realize it was the independent scene.
Yeah.
This guy named Mike Kahlua, King Kahlua. You ever hear of him?
Yes.
Independent wrestler. Now I'm just starting out again. We're doing bar shows, 80 to 100 people. So he comes and I got him working JT Smith, who's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I go, we're going to go JT up. He goes, I'm not doing a job for him. I said, what do you mean? He goes, this kid's been in the business for a minute. I'm like, I'm not doing a job for him. And I'm looking around him. Did I miss the TV cameras or something? There's 80 fucking people here. What? You're not going to do a job for him? No. I said, fine, do a Broadway. They do. He leaves. Everybody leaves. Next show comes 3 weeks later. He calls me and goes, I didn't get a call for a show. I said, yeah, you never will. Ever again. I never used it again. And I was green back then. But I was smart to know, like, if I'm paying you to do the job, I'm not asking you to get embarrassed on TV. It's 80 people. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, I never used it again.
Todd, we spoke about the death of Nancy Benoit, but you've seen a lot of deaths over the years, especially running an organization. Besides Nancy, what do you feel was the biggest death that affected you personally in the world of wrestling?
Teddy and Johnny, equally. I was really close with both those guys. They were both special in their own way. I mean, I can tell you Johnny Grunge stories. It's like Sandman stories until I'm blue in the face. 'Cause we called him our retarded puppies. He was just always getting in trouble. But everybody loved him somehow or other. He always got out of trouble. Christ, the first night he went to WCW, the first night, I get a call from Teddy the next day. He goes, Todd, I think we're fired. We're coming back. I go, what? You haven't been on TV yet. You just got there. He goes, Johnny stole the production truck last night. I went, what? He stole the production truck. David Crockett's production truck. Why? To go in the hood to get some coke. I said, he drove the WCW production truck into the hood? His first night of the company? Yeah.
I guess now we know why it didn't work out so great in WCW. Oy.
The next day, they're going to another town and they got the whole group of them on all the wrestlers on a big bus. Dusty Rhodes, who also took the Johnny, because you had to love him if you knew him, got these guys to pose as cops and go on the bus, or maybe they were real cops, at work. They bring Johnny Grunge off the bus in cuffs. Now he's only been there for 48 hours already, whatever it is. and they're trying to arrest him for stealing a production truck. And in true Johnny fashion, you know what he said? I didn't steal it. I was just burying it. And he meant that. I didn't take it. I didn't steal it. I brought it back. I just buried it.
Yeah.
I love that he said buried. Buried is such a great word. I buried it. That was Johnny. Just, where was it? Oh, today on the way up to the doctor was saying, I remember the story. Johnny grunts. One time he comes in the locker room. Oh, pre-show. A bunch of guys standing around. He says, man, last night I got the greatest blowjob I ever got in my life from this hooker. Really? Was it great? I'm telling you, it was great. And all of a sudden I looked down and she choked her. There was a guy. He walks away. There's 10 of us there. What? Johnny, everybody's running after him. What do you mean? What the fuck did you do? What happened? What did you do? Here he goes. I said, as soon as I come, I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of you.
What?
Pop the whole locker room. I mean,
God.
we were dying.
Oh,
We were dying. That's
Aye.
how funny he was.
oh my Lord.
You want another story like that? I'll give you another one, ready?
Over here.
Hit
We're on
it.
the airplane to Florida. And from Philly, like me, Sandman, 911, Teddy, all the people in this area, Stevie Richards, all in this area. And 911, he's the gentle giant. Don't get him mad. Don't ever shoot him either. You don't want to get him angry. I mean, he was absurdly strong and absurdly big, and his whole body was a rock. And he had long hair. We're on the plane. And he starts going, I'm really sad, man. And some lady says, what's the matter? He goes, my wife died today. Now, 2 or 3 people walk around left you. They're crowding around on the plane. He goes, I don't know how this happened. Like, there's 3 wives who died. I just don't know how it's possible. There were 3 wives. Oh, they're all patting her. It was awful. My first wife, she died from eating poison mushrooms. And I know we live on a farm, but still, my second wife died from eating poison mushrooms. I go, are you kidding me? And he's crying like a baby. They go, and what happened to your third wife? She died from a blow to the head. She wouldn't eat the poison mushrooms. I mean, this was 10 minutes long before we got to the punchline. I thought, that was fucking great, right?
This guy's gold.
Couple months later, we go to the Lulu Temple, Shriner's Temple. We worked there maybe 6 times a year. I'm in the kitchen with all the Lulu guys with the hats on, the Shriner hats. I go, I gotta do this. So he goes, what's up, Todd? I went, I can't even talk about it. My wife died today. This guy goes, oh my God, mine died last week from cancer. I went, really sorry to hear that. I'm all set up to do, I wanted to do 911's joke. I was so excited to do it. The guy goes, yeah, my wife died of cancer.
Joke over.
Yeah.
I
I said, I'll be out of ringside if you guys need me. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I was like, fuck. Like, I wouldn't be the guy who could pull a joke like that off.
Yeah.
Leave it 911.
Thunder stolen. Unbelievable.
Were you
Yeah, that kid.
were you there for the mass transit incident
Ooh.
with New Jack?
Speaking of
No.
Ralph Cramden, we
No.
were there for the mass transit. No, huh?
I was not.
What did you hear? What did you hear about it? I'm sure you still were talking to the boys about it.
Of course, I heard wherever you heard.
Okay.
Wherever you heard, I heard, and wherever, the
Same old stuff.
details are put in there.
You know, Todd, I got
At
to
that
ask you
point-
while I have you here. and I know it's probably not an easy question, but I would really appreciate a nice Grey Goose answer. How does it make you feel that your creation, that you and Paul eventually turned into what it turned into, does it make you feel, upset or melancholy, or are you happy that ultimately it wound up in the hands legally of the WWE?
Well, obviously, I'm not happy that it ended up in the hands of WWE at all.
Okay.
The fact that Vince hated that product and hated, well, he didn't hate the product so much, he hated the fact that his shows, and this for a fact, he hated when the fans yelled ECW. Especially 10 years, 12. He hated that. Like, if they would do something great, table spot, whatever, right away the whole audience, no matter what city they're just yelling ECW.
True.
And he couldn't stand that.
I bet.
So he thought, I restart ECW, and I make it, I'm the champ, and they'll hate me. I'll make them never yell ECW at my shows again, because they'll hate the letters ECW. That was totally what he was going for. And guess what? It's now 30 years later, and a month and a half ago at the Wachovia Center during Raw, Paul came out, whole fucking building's on ECW.
Yep.
30 years later.
Yep.
With Vince trying everything he could to bury it. Bury that mother. Like, I'm the champ, I'm ECW.
Right.
Figured no one will ever say it again. Didn't work.
He couldn't kill the real thing. That's the bottom line.
All right, Todd, this is
Yeah.
probably the most difficult question of the night.
Uh-oh.
I personally am not a fan of Tommy Dreamer or a fan of Bubba Ray Dudley.
Here we go.
For a multiple amount of reasons. How are those two people in real life? Are they good people? And again, Bubba Ray just rubs me the wrong way. He seems like he thinks he knows everything in life. And Tommy Dreamer, and I'm trying to be respectful, Todd, 'cause I'm sure he could possibly be a friend, but when I hear Tommy Dreamer should be in the Hall of Fame of wrestling, I just don't get it. Honestly, he was an ECW guy that meant a lot to that company, but in the world of wrestling, he's Tommy Dreamer, I guess. Correct me if I'm out of line.
Well, he's not Sabu, to your defense. He's
Correct.
not Sabu.
Right.
He's not Sandman.
He's not Rob Van Dam.
He's not colorful. I'm sorry, Todd. It's just, there's a thing going on with us and Tommy. Nothing personal.
You're not insulting me because I've had a rocky relationship with Tommy and Bubba and Taz over the years.
Okay.
Mainly because they were quote unquote that New York clique.
Mm-hmm.
That Paul made believe that I was the enemy, and that I was
Really?
mole trying to bring the company down, and
Really? Okay.
that's who we went to. That was his little inner circle.
Gotcha.
And the reason I did the book is that when I saw his DVD, which I participated in like 2014, 15, whatever it was, I realized he was still going along with the party line. I said, wait, he never smartened them up. He never told them this is a work between the two of us because he was losing the dressing room. The dressing room was splintered. New York clique, Philly clique, Taz clique, whatever. It was splintered. It had been a family for years. I built a family. Now it's torn asunder. So I got to get this locker room back. This is the time, as I told him, I was actually leaving for good now. It's like 97. So I got to say, we're under attack. How do we build our company? We build by saying, we're the little engine that could. We're the anti-establishment, we're anti-WWF, anti-WCW.
Yes.
And that's how we all bundled together, huddled together, and we built ourselves a company. He goes, I've lost all that. I said, no shit. He goes, I need to get them all back together. It has to be us against an outside force. You're going to come out as the heel, as the mole, but listen, you'll never, ever, ever, in print, on TV, or anything else, hear me say one bad word about you. And he never did. He said, I'm going to ask you not to ever say a bad word about me. And I never did. But what I didn't know is that 25 years later, he hadn't smartened those guys up. So we've had this bad relationship ever. Unfortunately, and we weren't close. we're certainly civil. And I got to tell you something. I recently saw Bubba, and I said, of everybody in our damn locker room, you achieved more than anybody did. Didn't mean we got along or whatever it was, but it pissed me off like this. That's one of the reasons I wrote the book. And when I told the story to Francine on her podcast, she sat there with her mouth open saying, wait, you two did that together? I said, no shit. Why do neither one of us ever spoke about it after that? I mean, if that was really true, don't you think he would have come out and said, how dare you, but not a word. If I really wanted to bring the company down, if anybody had thought for 1 second, I'd take the tape library with me. I owned it. Instead, I knew if I did that, he couldn't run B-rolls of past Shane matches or whatever I was trying to get across. I let him use all that. It's like someone's trying to take the company down to me. It sounds like someone's trying to get their money back. I try to keep the company floating, actually. So I played that role. I took the fucking heat. But my guys know Sandman, who screwed with Sabu. My people knew, but told them all, don't screw this up. Like, this company's going to go otherwise. It's your own job you got. Shut up, go with the flow. So he was doing his new Rocky speeches and all that. They went with the flow. But he never smartened those guys up. And that's one of the things Sean got so mad at me about is, you've got to tell the truth. You got to tell people that was work. And who cares after all those years? He said, I care. And if I care, you know what? I think other people would care.
And I got to tell
So
you,
it's
I think Sean's right.
Great advice.
Because I care too.
Great advice. Yep.
It's people got to get their flowers when they're alive, right? Life's short enough. You deserve your flowers and you deserve to be respected.
Amen.
And
Amen.
I agree with Sean. We're going to let you go in a minute here. We're going to hit you something with called the Pharaoh's final question. I don't know what he's going to ask you. It's non-scripted.
That's true.
Lately, he's been on a jet plane, but
Aaron Rodgers.
that being said, I just want to reiterate to everybody out there, Todd is God. Get it on Amazon. Written by Tod Gordon and the great Sean Oliver. I'm going to be reading it at the beach this weekend. If it's raining, I'm screwed, but I guess I'll be reading it in my man cave. But I'm very excited to read this.
I was going to say, what, they don't have lights inside, were you saying?
What's that?
Don't they have lights inside? I said, don't they have lights inside?
Yeah, there's lights in your man cave. You can read in the man cave.
Yeah, I can read it in the man cave.
Good.
Yeah.
Can I read it after you're done? But I want to look at the pictures.
You want to look at the pictures?
Yeah,
you want me to share my book with you?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
All right, I'll get my own. I should get my own. It's the wise thing
Todd,
to do.
before Pharaoh asks you that final question, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're an incredible human being. You're a legend in the sport. You deserve all the flowers that you get and you're still to get. And I only wish the best for you. You changed the industry for the good.
Oh, yeah.
That was you. You were the spark. Everyone knows it. And if they get to read the book, they're going to even know it more.
Everyone knows it now.
I appreciate Sean Oliver and you collaborating and allowing us wrestling fans to really know what the truth is. Pharaoh?
And before Pharaoh asks that last question, let me just say, as I told you when I first came on tonight, I've been told nothing but, like, these guys, they're awesome. Like, your reputation is well-deserved. You guys are fun to be with. I'd love to come on anytime.
Thank you.
Well, Todd,
thank you.
I can only say thank you to that. Really, I'm humbled by those words, and thank you for being so kind. And coming from a guy like you and being just a wrestling fan, right? We make sure we make it clear. We're not in the biz.
Nope.
We don't know shit.
Hey, I know a few things. Not everything, but jeez.
But we want to know the inside of the people that worked, right? I mean, you as a human being, it's very important that people just realize what you are as a human being. And this interview alone shows what kind of human being you are, because you know what? You didn't back off any questions. You answered them honestly.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm a Tod Gordon fan for the rest of my life, and I thank you for giving me that opportunity to become a Tod fan.
God bless, man.
And how about being able to handle his liquor, too? He handles his liquor.
All right, could you hit him with the Pharaoh's final question?
I'm not going to hit him, but I'm going to ask him. Gee, what, ECW is, those days are over. Don't through the table for Todd. Oh, my God. All right. Well, I got you here, and I know it's the standard question, but while I got you here, I want Tod Gordon's version of ECW's Mount Rushmore. I want the 4. Give me 4 guys in your mind that are ECW to the founder, Tod Gordon.
Funk, Sabu, Shane. And by the way, I'm not even going to answer this question. Funk, Sabu, Shane, Sandman. Bang, bang, bang.
Funk,
Bam.
Sabu.
That was quick.
Well, it should be easy in many ways.
Now I'm ruining it because now it was supposed to be the Pharaoh's final
Oh, and
question.
now the Jets going to win the Super Bowl?
No.
What?
Because I just thought of this. We had Sabu in here,
Oh, what a great
and
guy.
it was a very emotional interview.
Oh, he's such a good
And,
soul.
You know, we hugged after the interview. But the one thing I want to ask you, being the success that Paul Heyman has gotten, and he did this with the help of people like yourself
Of course.
and the wrestlers.
Of course.
Do you think at this point that he owes a Sabu? Because Sabu seemed a little down and out. Do you think he owes some of these guys a little something to help them get through the rest of their lives?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he doesn't owe anybody anything. Honestly, he doesn't. If you fuck these guys over, this guy over, whatever, hey, that was that. He went on and, you know, he did what he felt he needed to do to become what he became. And God bless him, you know, he became main event every pay-per-view for the last, like, 5 years. And the best talker is still, at age 58 or whatever he is, in that whole group. As a human being, you know, he and I fought about Sabu. He wanted this block Sabu going to WCW, and I said, guy, he broke his fucking neck here for $500 a night. They're offering $300,000. What are you doing? You tell him that he needs a contract. He has no contract. He never signed anything. Sabu didn't remember whether he signed anything or not. So if he got screwed over, whoever got screwed over, he doesn't owe us anything. You know, buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
And, you know, and life moves on.
Yeah.
Well, with that,
Wow.
buyer beware. And I get it. Tod Gordon, what an honor. God bless you, sir, and thank you again. We acknowledge you, Mr. Gordon.
Hey,
Thank you, guys.
The great Tod Gordon.
thank you, Todd. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you.
Jimmy, the great Tod Gordon.
Dude,
Are you
I
a jack
am
for this?
covered
Are
in
you goosebumps?
goosebumps. This
Wow.
was like 4 times during the interview. What a mark I am. It's pathetic.
It's not a mark. It's
I
it's a
love this guy. I just
You know
love
what?
that company.
Here's the thing. I refuse to use the word mark, right? Because,
man.
again, there's certain guys that you have a love for. And Gordon is one of
He
those
is.
guys.
He is. I love
There's
ECW.
nothing wrong with that, man.
ECW was the little secret, you know? I mean, back in the day.
You
It
love
was
it.
to me. I'm
I go
almost
back.
tearing here.
We have a sponsor out there, right?
Terrible.
Hendrick Fine Art.
Okay.
And he made a painting of me and Jimmy, which
Right.
I love.
Oh,
I
that
have it
was
hanging in my
beautiful,
man cave.
beautiful.
But it has Jimmy
Yes.
with Rob Van Dam behind
Yes,
him
it
and
does.
the ECW emblem.
Yes, it does.
And mine has Piper and the WWF.
Yeah.
Now, again, I know
Yeah.
what a big fan Jimmy is of Van Dam.
Absolutely.
But the reality of it,
It's ECW.
Jimmy is a huge
ECW.
and that, again, I'll reiterate, is the spark
Yeah.
of ECW. And you know
Yep.
what? You know what I love?
What?
As maybe disappointed as maybe Mr. Gordon is with Paul Heyman, or maybe that result came out, and I don't even know.
He seems to be
didn't say that.
in a very
But
calm place
look
about
at-
it.
but
Good
look
for
at-
him.
Look what he said. Buyer beware.
Yeah.
You only owe it to yourself.
I know, but morally, it would have been nice to be a human being, Paul. That's me talking.
Well, I think that's
Be
what
a
he
human-
said too.
yeah, and I agree
he said
with
on
him.
a human
Yeah,
level.
come on,
well,
Paul.
But as a person, whatever.
Blah.
Again, I want to read before we go.
Yeah.
Right? Todd is God.
Todd is
The authorized story and how I created Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Fantastic.
Todd Gordon and Sean Oliver.
Oliver.
The forward by Terry Funk. I'll be reading. Guys, go to Amazon. Get this book.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, I will give you a review
Absolutely.
on the book when I read it this weekend. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow we've got the great Sal Carenti in, 7:45.
Yep.
He wrote the book on Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
And then right after that, that's This Week in Wrestling, so we're doing an interview with Sal Carenti, going a little interview heavy. And then at 9 o'clock, the great Barry Horowitz returns.
unbelievable. What a week we've had.
We've had a pretty good week.
We are having a killer week.
We are having a killer
Love it.
week.
Love it.
And it's all due Maria Davis,
Maria.
the First Lady, is here.
What is
Cher
up, Maria?
Bear is here.
Hey, yo.
Our little family that supports us on a regular basis and allows us to do what we're doing.
Yep.
We love you guys. We love you all. And Maria Davis will not be with us tomorrow.
Okay.
She's going to a concert. She told me.
Who's she seeing?
Maria, I
Did she
think she's got to tell me again. I forget. I got to look.
Okay. I know Metallica's in town, but you know.
I want to hit you with this. He asked me not to tell you during the show, but I'm going to have to.
What?
Hold on.
You're gonna hit me with
Roger F.
Okay.
told me
All right.
that.
This sounds like a song.
Hang in
Roger
there,
F.
bro.
told me. All right. What did he tell you?
Roger F.
I hope Abe doesn't know about this too. You guys setting me up? What's going on here? What is this?
Hold on. It's right
Abe, you
here.
can cut to
Robbie
Facebook.
Robertson of the band
Okay. What about?
just died.
Oh my God.
He didn't want me to tell you during the show. He thinks you're influenced by him.
I love Robbie.
before you go,
I
would you-
traveled to Connecticut to see the band with the great Levon Helm, Robbie Robinson,
So
Rick
maybe
Danko.
you want to send us on the way with little prayers for Robbie Roberts. And again, I want to reiterate, thank you, Tod Gordon, for giving us the opportunity to interview on Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Sir, you are a giant. Go ahead.
You just hit me with a cinder block. It was such a great interview with Todd, but I'm thinking about Robbie. Robbie Robinson from the band was one of the most underappreciated on the broad spectrum of great lead guitarists. He was one of the most underrated, and he was so joyful when you would watch him do a solo. Now, if anybody doesn't know who this man is, I am absolutely begging you, go see The Last Waltz. The Last Waltz was the band's final concert in '75, I believe was the year. It's in the '70s. You'll see Bob Dylan. You'll see Joni Mitchell. You'll see a lot of famous Clapton. A lot of great musicians. Neil Young, I think. I mean, so many great musicians come out. And the night they drove Old Dixie down, Robbie, you were a legend, and you put the low ride on me.
Beautiful. And
Oh,
remind
my
everybody,
Lord.
last night was the finale with Marty Jannetty on Dark Side of the Ring, where we get to see our own Jimmy Farrow
What the?
interviewing Marty Jannetty.
That's
on Dark
hilarious.
Side
A
of the
bunch of texts start coming in after midnight. Did you see yourself? Did you see yourself? I think you've watched it way more than I have. I was just like, what the?
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but be proud of the show because that was fantastic.
I am proud of the
That
show.
was so fantastic. And hopefully more eyeballs will be checking out.
By the way, Maria says it's the honoring of men in the city of Pittsburgh, PA.
Honoring of men?
Honoring of
I'm
men.
going to have to do some homework.
You're going to have to do a little
I
homework.
think so.
All right, send us out there, Farrow.
Maria, have a great time at that show. You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. Todd is God. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. And until tomorrow night, can I pat your back?
Yeah.
Later.